Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Elevate Your Equity podcast, where investors with a special emphasis on couples begin, continue, and deepen their journey to financial freedom together using the powerful vehicle of real estate investing to do it. Today, we got an awesome guest on the show. His name is Chris Salerno, and Chris successfully transacted more than 40 million in real estate volume and helped lead the #1 real estate team in the Carolinas to produce more than 150 million in annual sales prior to creating his own QC Capital. Named to Charlotte's 30 under 30, Elite 50, and Elite 50 entrepreneurs, 30 under 30 entrepreneurs, and nominated for Forbes 30 under 30 for both 2018 and 2020, we have Chris Salerno with us. Hey, Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing phenomenal. It's a beautiful day here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Very excited to be on and add value to all your listeners.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking the time to come on the show. We really appreciate it. Let's start where we like to start with most of our guests, which is at the beginning. So, Chris, can you tell us a little bit more about how you got interested in investing in real estate and what were you doing when you first learned about it?
Yeah, so I was, as you said in my bio, and thanks for having me on again. As you said in my bio, I started out in the residential industry. So I was a residential broker here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Very quickly climbed the rankings to become the top broker for the Keller Williams office here in Charlotte at the time. And then from there, I grew a small little team, and then I merged that with the #1 team in the Carolinas. They were also number 4th in the world by unit count. When I did the merger, I fell into their operational role as their COO and I was able to make them 46% profitable in a year and a half compared to their 3 years of being stagnant with no growth. After doing that, I felt like I hit a ceiling, and the hustle of the cold calling, trying to get buyers, trying to get sellers. I only dealt with sellers towards the end of my career in the residential industry. But the hustle over and over and over, I sat down and I said, when do I build real wealth? And at the time I had some single family rentals, some fix and flips I was doing, but I really wanted to build the wealth. And to grow an investment company like a BlackRock, Blackstone, KKR, Carlyle. So I started educating myself on PPMs. I actually went on the SEC website and pulled Grant Cardone's PPM up, one of his first ever in his deals that he was doing. And I started following him when he was at only 400,000 followers. And I started reading through his PPM, and I got very tired and fell asleep a couple times because it was so long. But I got through most of it to get an understanding of what is multifamily, what is a syndication, how can you invest in it? Because I was the average individual who was driving and looking at these large apartment complexes, looking at these buildings. And I always would tell myself, how can I purchase one of those? Now, maybe the average individual doesn't say that, but maybe they say, how can I invest in one of those? And so I started educating myself on syndications, pulling everyone together to acquire these large complexes. And so I thought that, it was extremely interesting. I started reading books, listening to podcasts like yours on YouTube. From there, I then applied that information. I found a mentor in the industry. I hired him as a mentor and a coach, and that's when I created QC, and then to scale it up to what it is today. And so that's how I got in the industry of multifamily.
Was there at any point in time a couple of thoughts wandering through your head as you're watching as a broker? You're seeing these massive properties trade hands, right? And you're the broker in between them, or you're overseeing the transaction. Was there any point in time where you're like, I could probably do this? Or was it more like you're starting from square one with your knowledge as a broker, trying to learn how to be on the buy side and also on the operations side?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I never brokered residential real estate. So never once not residential, multifamily. I never once brokered a multifamily deal or even a commercial deal. I knew nothing about commercial going into the industry. I only brokered single family homes. So your single family home where your family would want to buy it. I had a handful of investors that wanted to buy single family rentals at the time. That is all I brokered. I do not have my license anymore. I let license go, and I do not broker real estate nor advise on real estate brokerage for single family. I am solely dedicated to the growth of QC Capital, which just solely focuses on multifamily acquisitions at the moment.
Got it. And can you talk a little bit about where that spark came from? I know that you said that you were working, your commission job or working your commission position as a broker,
Yeah,
basically earning commissions off the agents or off of yourself and transacting
correct.
deals. What was it that you said, man, I got to start creating some income? I want to dive into where that spark came from that helped drive you to get into create passive income.
I do get asked that question quite often, of my spark, my mindset, what drives me right now. I am, we're all wired differently as humans. I'm very intrigued with the mind and how the mind operates, how it processes, how you can change your mindset to create success. I mean, we've all heard that saying, um, becoming successful, which success is different and has a different definition amongst everyone, is 98, 99% mindset. So early on, I started reading mindset books, and transforming my mind into positivity, into meditating, into manifesting and creating laws of attraction of where I want to be and where I want the company to be. But there was a switch throughout my last year of residential real estate where I really wanted to grow a large investment company, or specializing in multifamily commercial real estate, and then also early stage startup companies as venture capital as well, which we've just recently done. So there was just that switch in my mindset that wanted to grow a large company. I knew that you have to go this route, to build the wealth that I want to build, and ultimately be able to give back what I want to give back. So that's what really sparked me to go this route, to create QC and to grow it.
Can you speak a little bit more to your approach of working on your mindset first and then having the external world kind of manifest itself around it? That's something that I've explored a lot, and I've seen it work for myself, but I want to see what it was like from your perspective. How much time did you spend working on yourself? And then how much, like, what was the length of time or the energy that you put in? What was the narrative around like starting to manifest all the success that you've been breathing into your mindset?
Yeah. So when it comes to mindset, laws of attraction, I'm a heavy believer in it, and meditation. I meditate in the mornings and in the evenings. And to answer one of your questions, I'm always putting in work in myself. So I'll never stop until I die. So I'm always putting in the work, and I'm always trying to grow that manifestation and laws of attraction. For example, I about 3 months ago, I was looking to purchase a white Range Rover. Okay, and it has to be Fiji white, because that's the color. They have two different whites, but the Fiji white is just a different color white, which I love. And I wanted black rims, so white Range Rover, Fiji white, black rims. My partner and I were looking at a property, and the broker pulls up in what exactly? A white Range Rover with black rims, the exact same one I want.
Get out of town.
Dead serious. And I looked over at him. I said, that's laws of attraction. When you want something, you start to see it. If you want a certain type of car, you start to see that type of car everywhere, because your mind is now programmed on that type of car, that specifics of that car, and you start to pick up and say, oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. So that's what I do and try to practice, when I'm meditating and manifesting the laws of attraction with the success, me personally and with the company, is I have my mind set on what we're going to achieve, and then ultimately we end up achieving it. Now, it may not be a month from now, it may not be 2 months from now, but it will be, it will come. There's not necessarily a time frame on it, but if you keep thinking on it, you keep manifesting on it, it will come eventually. And so I built that through reading books, listening to certain podcasts about mindset and manifestation, and I 100% believe in it. And that's what I've done today.
I can tell. It sounds like you've done a lot of your homework and you've done a lot of effort. You put a lot of effort into this mindset piece. Now, what I want to do is I want to transition over into what this looks like on a daily basis for Chris. I know there's meditation in the morning and the evening, but I want to hear more about what your daily routine looks like if you're living this mindset and living the life that you're living.
So I don't sleep much. I really don't sleep much. I operate off very little sleep. Last night, thankfully, I got around 7 hours of sleep, so I feel pretty good. The past week, I had to make a trip out to Vegas, and I only slept around 3 hours. And spent all day in Vegas with meetings and phone calls and things like that, and then had an early plane out of Vegas back to Charlotte. And the first thing I did was come straight to the office to work. Didn't go home, nothing, straight to the office to work. So I wake up fairly early, around 6 a.m. I like to wake up around 6. I go to bed around 12 to 1 o'clock in the evenings. From there, I wake up. I meditate in the shower. That the water and the sound of the water soothes me. It just puts me in a different mode. So I meditate in the shower, and then from there, I get my day started through reading some emails. Once I'm in the car, I have to get my Starbucks. Not always, but most of the time. I get my Starbucks, and actually I'll either not turn on any music at all or any podcast at all, and I'll just have the car silent all the way to work. So my mind's processing and just thinking. Sometimes I'll turn on music. Sometimes I'll turn on a podcast. It just depends on the mood I'm in that morning. But I'd like to get to the office fairly early, hopefully before everyone else, because I just like to be in my zone. The office is my comfort zone. I feel the most comfortable in my whole life is behind my desk and behind my monitors working. And I think anyone would tell you that that knows me very well. From there, it's just meetings all day to maximize time. Just when you set up a call with me to chat, if you're looking to invest, want to invest alongside of us, I normally set up a 15-minute call. Determining on the pre-conversation, I'll allow it to go to 30 minutes. But I've learned that you can get a lot done in 15 minutes. And so all my phone calls are 15-minute phone calls throughout the day. I have one lunch spot. That one lunch spot is less than 5 minutes from the office, and they already have the food basically pre-made. It's a barbecue place, very good food. And so when we sit down, normally it will be less than 35, 40 minutes that the food will come out, you will eat and be finished. And then I'll come straight back to the office. So I've narrowed that down because it's the quickest. It's very close to the office. I can get there, have a lunch meeting, have it be very successful, come back to the office and get back to work. And so from there, I do like to work out. Sometimes, depending on my schedule throughout the day, I'll work out in the mornings or in the evenings. Today's Monday, so I'll be working out at 5:30 this evening. And then after that, I go home. I like to hang out with my son. When I have him, I read books. From there, to put me to sleep, I watch Planet Earth. I'm very intrigued with lions and cheetahs and how they operate. So I'll watch that to put me to sleep, and then sometimes I'll read a book prior to going to sleep as well.
Yeah, so I can tell, Chris, that you're a man of process. You have things set up so that they're moving automatically, or you've got things on autopilot. Can you talk about maybe setting some of that stuff up? Like, what would you recommend to people that maybe want to start getting more optimal or more optimized results out of their day? How would you suggest people go about doing that?
Yeah, it really comes down to holding yourself accountable. For example, we market on social media. I do have to spend some of my day on social media by posting articles, by engaging with other people. Well, I know, and I'm sure everyone has done this, is when you're on social media, you tend to start squirreling and start to just looking at random stuff. And before you know it, you look at the clock and it's been 30 minutes and you've done nothing. So it's really important to time block on your calendar to make sure you have that set out. And then also when you're in marketing or engaging in social media, that you engage in social media and then you get off and you get back to what you really need to do to be productive. A lot of people get sucked in and looped in, which can just hinder everything. And it can be, it will be a time suck away from your day. And before you know it, you've spent most of the day on social media. So holding yourself accountable, time blocking throughout your calendar, and learning to say no. learning to tell people that, hey, I only have 15 minutes. Learning to tell people, I can't go grab lunch on Friday, but we can have a 15-minute call. Learning another big thing too is before setting up a call, have a pre-conversation with that individual to gauge them. Is it going to be a 15-minute call? Do I need 30 minutes? Could I go to lunch? I get asked to go to lunch, to go to coffee a ton of times. I decline a lot of them. Can we just have a 15-minute phone call? I mean, I don't need to spend an hour at a coffee table talking if we can knock it out in 15 minutes. So it's really being value of your time, understanding that, because I was just at the yacht show in Fort Lauderdale and met a couple of very successful individuals that I'm excited to build the relationship with. And we had this same topic, is that time is what we all cannot buy back. No matter if you're worth 2 billion or Elon Musk, close to 300 billion, or someone who's worth $1 million, we can't buy back time. So what is the difference between a billionaire and a millionaire and someone who's middle class is they value their time differently. They utilize their time differently. You can't make excuses. You have the same 24 hours I have in the day. It's nothing different. I don't have 25 hours, there's no difference there. What's the difference is I've time blocked and I've strategized on my day and how I'm going to operate my day and my life. I'm not going to have someone else dictate my day on when I need to be here like a boss, when I need to be here, when I don't need to be here, what I need to do. I schedule that myself. I schedule the time blocks myself to maximize the most time I have throughout the day. To be honest with you, I'm very strict, and I have a girlfriend right now, and we don't talk during the day. She knows I'm working. This is my life. It's my priority that I have with the company, with our partners, our investors, and she knows during the day she's probably going to get maybe a couple text messages out of me, because I am so focused on what I need to do, and I can't be distracted. So having those expectations, even with your loved ones, I think is extremely important. With your family, they know that any emergency, they call me, but if they need anything, they can text me first. So having those set expectations will help you utilize those 24 hours in your day to, ultimately hit your goals on where you need to be.
Let's say that there's someone out there that has a big dream, and right now they're working a corporate job, or they're doing what you were doing, which was working commissions, either in real estate sales or in some other type of sales role. I've been hearing a lot of things in your mindset about actually mindset itself and time management, control of the day. What resources would you provide to that person who has a dream, who knows what they want, but doesn't quite know how to get there, or maybe doesn't even have the drive to get there yet, but wants to get all of that? What advice would you have for folks like that who are looking to put this all together while they have other commitments?
Yeah, no, that's great. One, they're doing the right thing by listening to your podcast, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, gaining education that way, maximizing your time. Do you have a 30-minute break? Or do you have a 15-minute break throughout your day? Do you have a 1-hour lunch? What are you doing during those times? For example, most of the time, I'll order Uber Eats. There's sometimes that I'll utilize that time by taking, my partner and I will go out and grab lunch together, and we'll talk business while we're at lunch. But and when we go to lunch, we go to places that are not going to take an hour and a half for lunch. They're going to take less than 40 minutes. So utilizing that time, everyone, like I said, has the same 24 hours in the day. What are you doing in that 24 hours to maximize where you need to get, where your goals are, where your dreams are? One thing that I've always said is that through this journey that you are headed down, if you're looking to leave your W-2 and get into full-time investing into real estate, you have to sacrifice something. You can't have it all. Have that expectation right now. You will not. I can't have it all. I know that. You will not. I can't have it all. So you need to sacrifice something. What does that sacrifice look like? It's different in everybody. For example, the sacrifice with me, my girlfriend knows that during the day I'm solely focused on work, and that if you text me, it will probably come back as like Chinese, because I don't know, my mind is in work. It's not in what we're texting about or anything like that. She knows that. And so having those expectations, but you are going, because you can't have it all, you're going to have to give up something. And that's give up, communication throughout the day. Now, it is good if you have 10 minutes around lunchtime to call your significant other and say, hey, babe, I love you so much, and how's your day going? Make sure that they're interested. But also you're giving up that time. So you're going to give up something, giving up watching Netflix right when you go home and watching Squid Games. Start watching, documentaries, start reading a book, start listening to books, start listening to podcasts instead of watching Netflix. Little things like that you'll see improve over time. You're not going to see the next day, which Amazon has deeply impacted our mindset with. We expect everything that day. My son is potty training now. I was on the way to work at 8:30 and I ordered him a seat to potty train. I didn't even look at the delivery date, but I got a message from my camera saying someone's at your front door. I got an email saying the potty training stool has been delivered. And it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. I said, holy cow, it's immediately. It came immediately. So the mindset of Amazon is having that instant gratification. That's not what it is in this business. We're playing the game Monopoly. Mm-hmm. And when you play the game Monopoly, it takes 4 to 5 hours. When you play it in real life, it takes 10 to 20 years. So you need to have that patience and you need to have that mindset behind it to help get you out of that W-2 job into the investing.
Yeah. And I would also add here too, is that the mindset will give you that. It'll give you not only the tenacity, but it will give you the stick-to-itness too, right? So that's why it's so important that it has to be a unifying theme across your entire journey is working on your mindset. So love that. Now, to mindset, I want to get one more point in about this. I want to talk about the toughest moment that you faced in business or personal life while you're investing. So it could be while you're transitioning or something, right? I just want to know more about this and how your mindset helped accommodate for it.
Oh my goodness. So I got one big one and it impacted me this year. And normally I'm not an individual that opens up. But I had a fiance and her and I broke up. We have a beautiful son together, which is my world. And this year, during that phase of us not seeing each other, us splitting up, going through legal team, going through a custody battle, the first couple months really put a strong weight on my shoulders and on my mind. I don't like to mix business or I don't like to mix feelings with business or, get emotional in business because that's when you make mistakes. But during that time, it was very difficult to focus on work. My partner even said, you're just not yourself. And then once I started treating that situation like a business transaction, after a couple of months, he said, you're a whole different person. So it was that, I would say that was a strong personal thing in my life this year that really put my mindset to the test when I would go home, when I would meditate to really get me through to focus on what we're doing today.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So I know that you said that meditation has helped and you said that treating it like a business transaction helped, but what other mindset piece? There's got to be more to that too, because this is a major, shift. Like this is, you have kids together. What other type of mindset advice would you give to someone in this type of situation, right? Who maybe doesn't have the tools that you do to be able to turn it into a business transaction?
For sure. One thing I've learned, and I preach all the time, is that I don't get upset with something I can't control. For example, whether you like Biden or not, Biden's in office. Why am I going to get upset about it? I can't control it. I can't, if he makes a decision that I don't like, I can't go up and knock on his door and say, hey, I don't like that decision, or shoot him an email. So why am I going to get upset and ruin my day about it when it's out of my control? So eventually there was things throughout that personal time frame that was just out of my control. For example, scheduling court dates, out of my control. I still haven't gotten my next one. It's out of my control. I can't keep bugging them. It's just, I have to wait for it. So why am I going to get anxious and upset or, riled up about it? So think on that deeply. Is this in my control? Whatever you're going through in life, do you actually have 100% control of this? If you don't have, figure out, should I be getting upset of something that I can't control, that is out of my control, that's going to startle me, that's going to ruin my whole day? When I speak to people and they're like, my day's ruined, I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm sorry, get away from me. My day's a great day. If you have if you have a terrible day, I'm sorry. Come talk to me later when you're happy. But when they ask me, how's your day? And I say, it's amazing. They're like, wow, why is it amazing? Well, I'm alive. It's beautiful out in Charlotte right now, and I'm working. So it's a mindset thing, and having that to the ability of, if it's out of my control, I'm not going to get upset about it. I may get upset for a couple minutes, but after that, I'm going to calm down and get back to whatever I need to get back to, because it's out of my physical control. So I think having that really helped me progress through it. And then also treating it like a business transaction, thinking business strategy. I'm learning the game of chess now, because chess, you can move, from what I've studied, is you can move up to 15 moves ahead in your mind on where your opponent's going. And it's all about strategy. That's what you have to do in your personal life. That's what you have to do in business, in my opinion, is have that mindset of, okay, if I do this, what else is coming? I need to have a backup plan, A, B, and C. If I do B, what's after that? What can potentially come as a threat, as a situation on my desk, things like that.
So many ways in which we could go from this, but I'm going to pick one. And then after that question, we'll have our rapid round after this. I could ask you a million questions, but I know that we both have limited time. So this is what we're going to do. So how has your family responded to seeing all this? Like perhaps your parents, the family you live around where you are, right? Because there's some people out there who want to make decisions to get out and break out onto their own or start investing, but it's considered risky, or it's considered, extreme, right? Or considered maybe foolish in some families. And so I wanted to get your take on how your family has reacted to all of this success, and what it was like in the beginning as well.
So I always say I was adopted as a kid, and I say that because my family and my younger sister, younger brother, my step siblings, we just have a totally different mindset. For example, I flew back from the Fort Lauderdale yacht show yesterday, and my sister picked me up, and she works as serving tables right now. And I told her, I said, why don't you get a job closer to the city where you make more money? She's like, oh no, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I'm like, okay, but you want to make more money to progress in your life. Mm-hmm. Why don't you go do it? Like what's that hesitation? And so they really don't, to be honest with you, they don't understand my mindset. They don't understand my work ethic. And sometimes they even, like, my sister will make fun of me. Like if I'm on a group text and they're like, where's Chris? And she's like, well, he's probably in a meeting. And I'm like, yes, I'm probably in a meeting. Thank you. Let everybody know. But so their priorities are different in life. And the way they value time and value money is different. So I say that there's a very big difference from my family to me as an individual. I don't knock them for that. But I hang around them very little, to be honest with you, because of that mindset that they have. But I do go to, family events and things like that when they need help or ask advice on, financial stuff. I give them my opinion on it. But we're just really vastly different when it comes to mindset, when it comes to taking a risk and taking a chance on something. For example, you said taking risk. We all take risk every day. We take a risk when we get in our car to drive to work, to drive the kids to school. We take a risk by riding on an elevator. Now, those risks are very minimum because elevators have been around for so long. Technology with elevators, technology with vehicles and driving has increased. So the risk of getting an accident and dying or anything like that happening, I think as the years go on, are going down very little. But taking risk in business, the biggest thing is everyone feels so comfortable on where they're currently at. If it's their W-2 job, if it's anything, they feel so comfortable. And then when they see something, they're like, oh, I would love to do that, but I'm so scared. I'm so hesitant. And the biggest failure in individuals is not them actually failing at a task. It's them doubting themselves and them fearing to actually take action on it. That's the biggest failure in individuals, in my opinion, is that right there. So you got to do it. I mean, just go. I mean, you don't know. Look at Elon Musk, the richest person in the world. 10 years ago, he purchased Tesla. Around 15, he purchased SpaceX. Around 9 to 10 years ago, SpaceX and Tesla was about to go out of business because he had no money to fund both of those companies. Zero. In one day, the next day, he was going to go out of business with both. But the day prior, he was able to get a loan, was able to utilize that capital and grow it to what he did today. Now he's the richest. He will be the first trillionaire. I mark my word. He'll be the first trillionaire in our lifetime because SpaceX is not even public yet. He has so much potential, and he took so much risk. Each of us has a different level of risk, but you have to go out there and do it. You have to push yourself, have that mindset, create that laws of attraction, and you'll be able to accomplish it.
I would say here too, Chris, that risk is in the eye of the beholder, right? Everyone has their own their risk tolerance. And then also like, what is the worst case scenario? So for those of you who are out there, potentially looking at doing something that may cause waves in your family, well, I mean, yeah, it sucks. You may actually end up burning some relationships with your family, but it's not going to ever, I mean, it's your family, right? Like
but
if it's
at the
truly
end of the day,
family,
it's your life.
Yeah.
It's your life that you're living.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take control of your life and maximize the opportunity that you can.
100% agree. So would you, if someone is in a situation where they highly value their family's opinion on this, right? Yeah. And they're about to do something that they know is going to get them,
go against it,
make them upset. Would you, how would you handle that approach with the actual family members? Would you just not tell them? Would you tell them, but give like outlined reasons for the risk, or would you just not care and just move on without?
It depends on the family members. For example, my family members, I'm going to do it. And I have the mindset that I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it accomplished, and it's going to work. For some of those individuals that have stricter families, I know I have very good friends that have Indian heritage, and the Indian community is extremely strict on their history. And it's very difficult to go to a father and a mother and try to talk to them about something. For those, for individuals that have very strict family members, I would sit them down and say, look, guys, this is what I want to do. I know we've discussed it before and you guys say it's extremely risky, but I'm going to try it. Who knows if I'm going to make it or not? My mindset says I'm going to. I feel it. I've created the laws of attraction to accomplish it. If I don't, hey, worst case scenario, I go back to the job I had. I have very, very great relationships with them. I put in my 2 weeks with them. I'll go back to the job I have. But the best case scenario here is that I accomplish what I want to accomplish and I succeed at it and I grow a business and I become very successful at what I love to do. But worst case, I still have my job to fall back on. So I think a parent would feel more welcoming when they hear it from that point of view of, okay, they thought out their risk and it just going back to their job that they've had. And then this is the reward if they actually take action on what they want to do.
Chris, it reminds me a lot of how I overcame my analysis paralysis at the beginning because I'm an engineering type A personality, and I could never pull the trigger on a property. And when I found out, or when I shifted my mindset from making $1 million on the first deal to learning something on the first deal, that's when everything just started opening up. And so I think that if you can take that approach with your family, just like you were saying, and get to a point where it's like, hey, if I need to, I can go back to work, but really my main objective here is to learn something and carry it with me, and maybe even have a chance at becoming the next Elon Musk or or whatever else after that, or whoever your idol is and whatever you want to emulate. So very good
you're
stuff.
100% spot on with that.
All right, Chris. So thank you so much for coming on the show. What we're going to do here is we're going to start to wrap up. We're going to go into our rapid round, which is the same 5 questions that we ask all of our guests. Okay. And we're going to answer them or ask them over to you. And hopefully you'll be able to answer them in a fairly quick manner. Of course, if there's some explanations too, we'd love to hear that as well. But we'll start with number 1. Number 1 is, What book has had the biggest impact on you and why? And you cannot say Rich Dad or the Bible.
Okay. Hey, well, be honest with you, I've never read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Wow, that is
But I would say, I would say Think and Grow Rich has had a huge impact on me, especially Andrew Carnegie in there. I read that book probably 3 times a year. I would say Think and Grow Rich is a huge book. I highly recommend it. And there's a new book out that I'm reading, and I also recommend. It's called The Code of Extraordinary Mind. The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. That is another great book about mindset, laws of attraction. So those are 2 actually.
Fantastic. I'm definitely going to be looking up that second one. Haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Number 2, if people wanted to emulate your success, what is the first actionable thing that they could do to follow in your footsteps?
Get a coach and a mentor. Helps limit your mistakes along the way.
Bingo. Number 3, what small thing do most people not know about you?
Oof. You got me on that one. What small thing? Normally I give everything out on social media, so you know everything. My social security number. They don't know that.
No, don't do that.
I would say recently I got into Formula One and yachting. So a lot of people don't know that I have a huge attraction to Formula One and yachting.
Very cool. Love it. Number 4, how do you like to unwind and restore your own creative juices?
It's very, very hard for me to unwind. My girlfriend even says that. It's very difficult for me to unwind. But when I do, I unwind near water. So if it's a waterfall, if I'm in the ocean in Costa Rica, if, in the shower, that's where I can really let my mind loose. And that's how I can really unwind and reset. Is being around the water or even a bonfire. I like bonfires and making them. I have a little fire pit in the backyard, and I'll do it tonight because it's cold out. But that just helps me unwind as well.
Very cool. And last question is, what is your favorite vacation spot?
Ooh, that I've already been to?
Sure. Or that you want to go to.
Okay, well, where I know I want to go to is charter a private yacht around the Caribbean. Nice. That is going to be my number 1 goal, is to do that within the next year. So
I love it, man. That's a great inspiration for someone like me to visualize that in my goals and affirm that to myself in the next couple of years for sure. So love it, man. Well, Chris, thank you so much for being on the show. Before we let you go though, can you describe a little bit about how folks can get in touch with you or learn about your company?
Yeah, the best way to get in touch and to learn more about what we're doing, to seek some opportunity that we'll have available, is go to qccapitalgroup.com. In your top right, you'll see Invest with Us or Invest Alongside of Us. Go ahead and click on that. Fill out the information. You'll get a welcoming email and a video of myself welcoming you to our opportunity and to our deal list. We do send out monthly updates. And then from there, we'll be able to set up a 15-minute phone call so I can learn more about you, to see if we're a good fit for each other, and you can learn more about myself and my family. So there you have it.
Excellent. Well, Chris, wanted to thank you so much for your time. It's great to talk with you here. And for all of you listeners who have listened all the way to the very end, I also want to thank you as well for listening. And please, wherever you're listening to this or watching this, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, engage with us, because we want to learn more about how to add incredible value to you. And we want to learn and listen from you and help incorporate some of that so that we can get up and up the ranking, so the algorithm gods will honor us with more views from other individuals as well. So everyone, you guys have a fantastic week, and we will talk to you soon. This is Derek. I'm signing off.